Hello everybody, welcome back to another one of my YouTube video. In this video, I'd like to show you how I paint this white marble sculpture. The reference photo was taken at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. The statue is actually located at the atrium, so this is actually lit by natural light. And so what I like about this photograph is I like the subtleties of the shadows. I like the way the statue was lit, and also the temperature shift. There's a lot of color lots of warm and cool. I want to emphasize that, and this is something that interests me. In preparation for this painting, I actually did a three-value study before I start the painting. Looking at the reference and the value study together, you can see that the darkest area, the dark tone would be the background, and the mid-tone would be the shadow of the statue. So like I said before, the thing that I really interested in is to really show how the light bring out the forms and all those interesting color temperature shift within the shadows. So again, this is something that I want to capture in this. So in this video, I actually painted on multiple sessions, and I actually sped up the different sessions about 200%. So this is actually mixing the midterm. I mean the midtone. Since the statue is white, so I thought it would be just a good idea to figure out all the exciting part of the things that I'm interested in, and I'm mixing the Payne's gray and ultramarine blue, a little bit of I believe that's cobalt blue to start out, and then you can see I add a little bit of orange to warm it up a little bit, and even within that mid-tone, there's different temperatures. You can see that the base of the neck, it feels a bit cooler, and then as the head gets warm, because it's turning away from the sky, and because it's in an atrium, you can get the reflected, the blue of the coolness of the blue sky. Again, this is the side of the arm, which is actually getting some bounce light. And again, there's if you look at the reference photo, there are a lot of subtle temperature shift in that. And so this is the thing that I was attracted to, and it's just to see those subtle relationships with the color shifting. And because it's white, it's actually very sensitive to all the little changes, and it's a lot easier to see those temperature shift. And again, it's everything that I'm currently putting down, it looks a bit too dark, and that's because it's the first tone that I put down. Everything that you against white it's gonna look dark. So it's a good idea to not jump right to to judge before you have all your values in. So again, continue mixing the different temperature shift within the shadow, and this is the mid-tone that I'm working with. And you can see I'm painting the I guess that's the thigh part, and there's a lot of color shifting in there, and it is not I mean, looking at the reference photo, it has a little bit more of a a much yellow tone to that. And as long as you have the as long as you have the values correct, the slight variations in the color, it's not actually going to be matter that much. So it's important to also to put those I mean, all those subtle differences in the temperature. I mean, that's the whole idea of to capture those subtleties. And right now, because this is the first pass, so there's it's easy to just don't just jump. I mean, don't judge anything until the light tones in, the mid tones, and so this way it's just so you could the variation's gonna come out. It's gonna show up later. So just be patient and stick with the plan and look at the value study. And so let's see. Again, I'm still working in the midtones, and in certain areas, it's going to be a little bit more, requires a little bit more precise drawing. So this is the part where having a more accurate or more refined drawing will save you a lot of time, and because anything that you get it wrong, it especially with human form, it's very easy to spot. And when something looks off, it's not like a mountain or a tree or a rock or some that's misplaced. That in a landscape painting, it's not that obvious, but in subject like this, it becomes something that very obvious. So it's important for me to make sure to at least to get the proportions correct. Again, just fine tuning the small shapes, and again, we're still working on the midtones. And these are the small shapes. These are the smaller shape. But once you have the big shapes are in, and if you squint your eyes, you'll be able to see the temperature, the variations with that. And now I'm putting in the background, which is going to be a lot darker. And so as soon as you put that in right next to the midtone that I had earlier, that I put down earlier, you could see that right away it makes the midtone much more interesting, a lot more exciting. And I purposely keep the dark the dark tone in the background. Purposely keep the color a little bit more like not as much variation, to keep the temperatures similar. So that way, it makes the mid-tone, the shadow of the statue a lot more exciting. Again, just to block it in and not worry too much. So the warmth and the cool of the shadow starts to show up now. So at this point, the light tone, the mid tone, and the dark tones begin to show up. And like I said, because this is a white marble statue, so even though there's some light, some color variations on the light side, I purposely just leave that out for now because I feel like the thing that's most exciting is the shadow of the statue. So at this point, it's just for me to just darken, give it some variations in the backgrounds instead of just one flat color. So at this point, I'm gonna say the the first pass of the block and it's close to complete, and just I guess just soften that edge a little bit more, and then after this blocking, I will go into just the details in the shadow of the sculpture or of the statue, and because this is the midtone, and again I'm breaking up the midtone into smaller shapes, or the details in the midtone. So again, it's very I have to be very careful because it cannot be too dark, because if it's too dark, it's going to compete with the background. If it's too light, it's going to so it's just keeping that, make sure the the temperature, keeping the original block in as much as possible, um, and not render everything out, and suggesting and looking at the reference. I mean, there's some details there, but it's a lot of it. It's just very soft, very subtle, and so the idea is to hint, just suggest to your audience, and yeah, it's not, and you'll see like controlling those edges, and refine the shape a little bit more. All those things will make the paint, or at least make the sculpture or the statue a little bit more solid. Again, you can see that I just bring out the darks, not everywhere. It's just slightly, and make sure that even the darks in the midtone is not very dark. It's not competing with the darks in the background. So it's I would say it's a very tricky situation, and oftentimes it's a good idea to like work on a little bit, and just step away, work on a little bit, and step away. So this way we'll ensure that you don't overwork your painting. Again, it's just what I'm doing is just continue to refine bring out some of the softer edges, and yeah. So I have about I think three different sessions on it, and each I would say half an hour to 45 minutes. So I would say the total time that I spent on this painting, I'm gonna about 3 4 hours. So and I like the simplicity of this piece, and also the subtleties in the shadows, the the color shifting, the warm and cool, the temperature shift in the shadow is the thing that's making this piece exciting, and at the same time keeping the statue look, not overly render. At the same time, it doesn't look too. It doesn't look like it looks solid. At the same time, it doesn't look like it's overly render. So Anyway, I hope you guys like this video, and please feel free to share, leave a comment, and I will share with you on the see you on the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.